Hey, gang, welcome. Let's turn off some extra comments and banners and whatever else. There we go. We've begun. Facebook, folks, I'll set up so I can get over top of this. Go to StreamYard.com and StreamYard.com/Facebook and click grant permission or whatever it is they got there this week. And make sure that you can be part of the conversation today. An interesting conversation it's going to be. Lots happening in the past week. Let's see, get my overlay set up here. There we go. Lots happening in the past week as the SEC is apparently getting bored with losing to Ripple. So they filed a few extra lawsuits. Until we get talking about that, don't forget anywhere you want to be. That's our social media. We're on all of those with the doggy traders. I know we're not on everything yet with Up the Middle, our Wednesday show. Don't forget to check that out. Up the Middle every Wednesday, where we talk about politics and life and whatever else. That is taking off real nice right now. We'll put the Up the Middle logo on there for. I don't even have that. There we go. So there we go. Up the Middle and the Up the Middle logo up in the corner. That is every Wednesday. We do that live to YouTube and Facebook and whatever else we're on. Link my LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn account, and then we cut it back and we take out all the ums and uhs and all that shit and anything else useless like me rambling right now, and we put it to right now we're on more than 20 platforms for podcasting. So that's been awesome. And it's taking off. We're in talks with the Boston Globe. I can actually say that now. We're in talks with the Boston Globe for, don't really know what that looks like yet, but I think they're at least interested. They've been interested since the first week of us doing Up the Middle, which is saying something. That means that our for those of you not familiar with it yet, it's a political show that I do. I was just basically sick of politics, and I didn't want to get back into politics, but I was just basically sick of politics being done so poorly, especially by Fox, but also CNN and so many other outlets that I thought, I'm a little guy, I get it, but I've been there literally 21 years, 11 and a half in Washington, D.C., the last 3 out in LA, where I saw Trump plenty of times, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Her residence is, and actually, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin had a residence out there that I also was at plenty of times. So again, I lived this stuff, and it's clearly, obviously, not going to be long before it gets picked up because within week one, of me doing Up the Middle, I got a contact from the Boston Globe, and now Spotify, who is doing. There's a recent development this week. We've been approached by Spotify. You don't know who they are? Google this guy named Joe Rogan. So clearly, we know what we're talking about. And speaking of people that know what they're talking about, Tim's Custom Computers built this machine right here. I think I can talk to the International Space Station with that thing. I say that every week, but I mean it. This thing is a machine. And when we do profits, let me get out of the way. When we get some profits from day trading, we take them to Edward Jones, where they help me make sense of investing. I haven't been to this place recently. He's going to yell at me when he sees me again. Anthony at the Monster Mouse Fitness. When we do get to work out, that's where it's at. If you join us here in the Tampa Bay area, come with us to the House of the Mouse and join us at Monster Mouse Fitness. Got to get smaller graphics. Our taxes are done by Joe Susi down in St. Pete. Our tax guy, your what is it? Your St. Pete CPA, I think, is the slogan that he uses. And then I gotta find. I don't think I have one on with all of my doggy trader stuff, so I got to switch over to there again. There he is, Aroma by Pete. Every time we fire up here in Studio Yergz, it is with this guy, Aroma by Pete. That is salted caramel that makes this. Like, I get all stressed out talking about some of this political bullshit, but I'll tell you what, those candles hit the spot. They're just Aroma by Pete. If you Almost forgot this, so let's get it up there. No, it's in the banners. There we go. There it is. Aroma by Peter. Sorry, Pete. aromabypeter.com/Yergz. And I don't know if you get anything off or how much you get off. I know there's some sort of deal, but at least he'll know that you came from me. And yeah, it is. I got these candles. I mean, you would have thought that they were in armored cars. That's how well they were packed, and excellent prices, excellent selection. My house smells amazing. And I'm, a hell of a lot better about life. There's the prices scrolling along the bottom. Let's get into some stories, is what's going on. There's the disclaimer. Take a look at that as always. Take a look at that while I get some other shit fired up here, and we will get going. But yeah, two pretty decent stories. Again, the SEC is, screwing themselves. Don't forget every Wednesday up the middle, and we'll get that back up there and get talking. Crypto.com has, get my notes here together. So the Singapore-based crypto.com is winding down, to use their words, the institutional business in US. For those of you trying to figure out what the hell that means. Institutional business is not you and me. It is not a dog gagging in the background. It is the banks, the investment houses, insurance companies, places like that, still separate from the other corporate clients of any such exchange like crypto.com or Binance or Coinbase. This happening the same week that Binance and Coinbase were sued by the SEC. Securities and Exchange Commission seems to be bored with whatever they're about to lose against Ripple Labs and XRP. So they've sued Binance, Coinbase, and I always gotta look at this because I'll get his name right if I read it. So that's, you see CZ there on the screen. There it is. Changpeng Zhao. Boom, nailed it. CZ, as he's known to us Americans, they are being sued by the SEC. A pro XRP lawyer. First, one quick thing about Ripple Labs before we get into that. A pro XRP lawyer, John Danton, says that Ripple has a 25% chance of an outright, flat out, hands down, all take it, winner take all win against the Securities and Exchange Commission, while putting the SEC at an outright win at 3%. Now, this guy is pro XRP, but we want to make sure that you understand it's pro because he's been for XRP. He's not associated with the case, but he is a cryptos and securities and commodities expert, and he's been on the side of XRP, since this has been since December of 2020 when the SEC first announced that lawsuit. Yeah, so and that's actually winding down. So those are his chances, followed by a 50-50 chance of what we call splitting the baby type of ruling, allowing Ripple and XRP to claim a victory either way. So even if, and that's what we're talking about in this next portion. This is referring to Judge Torres's drawing the line in the sand. She's basically said, the Securities and Exchange Commission, I've had enough. They keep changing shit throughout the course of this 2.5 years, trying to say, well, we got a problem with this, we got a problem with that. Well, we also got a problem with, and it's just basically amendments to the lawsuit, a very poorly organized case. And as a result, and by the way, they're not a law enforcement agency. I don't know if I have that coming up later or not. I know I looked that up in prep this week for today. The Securities and Exchange Commission is an administrative agency that can bring either administrative penalties, which are very minimal, or actual civil lawsuits on behalf of the consumer, who are the ones that usually wind up getting fucked. So we've been having an issue with, I think, the one card. We got a guy coming to look at that. So they're drawing the line in the sand where she could potentially rule that XRP was offered as an unregistered security before 2018, when all this really actually mattered. However, in the wake of the Hinman documents, which refer to internal SEC messages related to a 2018 speech given by the former Securities and Exchange Commission director, William Hinman. So now you know what the Hinman documents are. It's possible that cryptocurrencies can transition from securities to commodities once they become sufficiently decentralized. And that's what the attorney was saying. I think that XRP, this is him, by the way, Deaton. I think that XRP itself is going to be deemed not a security, and that I think that secondary market sales show comment. Even if Judge Torres does rule finding that Ripple violated the law, meaning that it is a security, that doesn't apply to secondary market sales. So it's going to be a commodity anyway. And that's why it doesn't matter what the decision is going to be. It's essentially going to be a win for Ripple Labs and the crypto XRP. So either way, a win for XRP, and that's what looks good for Coinbase and Binance, because essentially you're going to find out in a second that it's the same thing all over again. Forbes did a story, and I'm going to talk. We're not even going to get past. We're not even going to get past the headline. That's how poor. I'm getting a lot of Forbes tweets, but Forbes did a story. SEC sues biggest names in crypto. This is a quote from their actual headline. SEC sues biggest names in crypto, Binance, Coinbase in double whammy for sector. This is the headline from 6/7/23 earlier this week. Forbes is uber conservative towards the old money type of investments. They've been anti-crypto. I get and I read their tweets. They've been anti-crypto. They're much more right wing, and as a result, we're never going to get past this headline, because when they say double whammy, it's very judgmental for a case that hasn't even begun, or cases haven't even begun yet. So this is a whammy, because now these two crypto houses, these two exchanges are going to be penalized and do loss of business and so on. But you don't know that. And that's why we go to trial. This is not about enforcing regulations as much as it about real weaponized agency of the federal government. And those are my comments there. But this is about actual weaponization of a federal agency, not the bullshit, that the FBI is being accused of. And the thing about it, and this is what I said earlier, they're not even a real law enforcement agency. And that is per their own website, the section Overview of Enforcement. So also per their website, and this is some of the summaries of our story for today with CZ, Binance, and Coinbase. On 6/5/23, the Securities and Exchange Commission filed 13 charges against Binance and founder Changpeng Zhao. As I said earlier, I got the name right earlier too. CZ, as he's much more commonly known. If you Google Binance CZ, you're going to see a picture, the same picture you see on the screen right now. Charges for Coinbase for operating unregistered securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency. This is essentially the same thing as XRP, which is about to be declared a commodity anyway. So my question for all that is, it's 2023. This has been these regulations that we're talking about have been in place for the past 5 years, since 2018. You heard that in the past, story too from the attorney. Where have you been? And why now? Tell us how you're not weaponizing, that you're actually doing a job. I've talked about before. Let me use this hand so you can still see it. I've talked about, the 3 Ps of HR. And now I got to try to remember them. Policy, procedure, and practice. Policy is your actual manual, or in this case, the law. Procedure is any court rulings, in this case, any court rulings or any supplementals or any directives from a boss that says how that law will be, or maybe an executive order saying how that law will be followed and enforced. And then practice is what you actually do. So in the case of HR, if the manual says you can or cannot do one thing or another, and then the boss says, well, here's some clarity on that. And then here's what happens every day. They've all got to match, because once you allow that employee to go X number of days doing whatever, you've okayed it. And it's the same thing here. You know, if we've waited, what do we got, 5 years since 2018, and now and Coinbase was around then, and now you're fine. And if it wasn't 2018 that they've been around, they've been around since I moved to LA in 2018. They've been around, as long as I've been trading and investing. Same thing with Binance, the world's largest, by the way. What took you so long? So maybe we'll find out. Anyway, there's a number scrolling across the bottom. As always, we're here every Friday. We've gotten rid of an actual specific time because sometimes there's some things that I want to actually get together a little bit better, like we did today, and give you a little bit better information as a result. Hopefully you liked it and you agree with that. So if you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Try not to fumble through it so you understand what the hell I'm saying. And yeah, that's it. Till then, we'll see you on Wednesday or Up the Middle. Till then, you've been with the Doggy Traders. Trade crazy, trade safe. Have a great weekend. See you again.